What's up everyone, Louis here. Today I'm going to be showing you all my pure SHADDOLL deck profile. I recently finished this deck. I just wanted to show it off to you guys. This mostly contains cards from the structure deck SHADDOLL Showdown. Came out like last year, I think. It is pretty budget, so if you're like a new player or a returning player, I definitely recommend this deck. It's really easy to learn and it's really fun as well. It's not really gonna win you like professional tournaments, but definitely at locals, I promise you it will pull through. So anyway, let's get straight into the deck profile. So SHADDOLLs, if you don't know, all the main deck SHADDOLLs, I should say, have a flip effect and a graveyard effect. So the first card we'll be running is SHADDOLL Wendy. This has the flip effect of you can special summon one SHADDOLL monster from your deck in face up or face down defense position, and when it's sent to grave, I can special summon one SHADDOLL monster from your deck in face down defense. So this is really vital to the strategy. Obviously, you can get those SHADDOLL monsters that you need onto the field for your fusion plays. Next, we run 3 SHADDOLL Squamata. This, its flip effect just pops a card, so it's not too good, but then you have the graveyard effect, which is the main reason why you run this. It has the, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send one SHADDOLL card from your deck to the GUI except SHADDOLL Squamata. So it essentially acts as a Foolish Burial, and since the other SHADDOLL cards have useful graveyard effects like adding a spell trap or something, it will set up some plays. Next, we run 3 Mathematician. This card is pretty good in this deck, that's why we run 3 of. When this card is normal summon, you can send one level 4 or lower monster from your deck to the GUI. Again, essentially another Foolish Burial. And when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the GUI, you can draw 1 card. So kind of a little bit of draw power, but mostly for the graveyard effect. Next, since the kind of, I would say like master of this deck is SHADDOLL Construct, she requires 1 light monster and 1 SHADDOLL monster. So to get those light monsters, we have this little mini Performage engine with 3 Trick Clown and 2 Damage Juggler. Pretty self-explanatory. Trick Clown can, I believe, you pay 1,000 life points and you bring it back from grave. And Damage Juggler just kind of helps you get Trick Clown to your hand. And yeah, it's kind of just serves as a mini engine for you to get into Construct faster. I would say Construct is kind of this deck's win condition, so there's that. Next, onto the older SHADDOLL monsters. So we've got 2 SHADDOLL Hedgehog. Flip, you can add 1 SHADDOLL Spell Trap from deck to hand, and if this card is sent to GUI, you can add 1 SHADDOLL monster from deck to hand. So we run 2 of just because it's a little more versatile than the rest of them. These next ones are a little more like situational. So we've got 1 Beast. Flip, you draw 2 cards and discard a card. Obviously pretty good effect. Most people opt in to run like 2 of these since it's just draw power, but this is a more combo based variant of the deck, so I just run 1. And if it's sent to the GUI by a card effect, you can draw 1 card. Again, just draw power. We then run 1 Dragon. Flip, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So that's a bounce, very good. And if this card is sent to GUI, you can target 1 spell trap on the field, destroy it. So you kind of pop a little bit of your opponent's back row. Next, we have 1 Falco. This, when it's sent to grave, it brings itself back. So if you need to fusion it again, it's useful for that. And Flip, you can target 1 SHADDOLL monster in the GUI, except SHADDOLL Falco, special summon it in face down defense. Kind of like Wendy, but a little worse. Next, we run 1 Ariel. It has a flip effect of targeting 1 of your banished SHADDOLL monsters, special summon it in face up or face down defense. Obviously very useful since they're all flip monsters. And if it's sent to GUI, you can target up to 3 cards in the GUI, banish them. So this goes really well with a trap that we run, and I'll explain that in a little bit later. We then run 1 Armageddon Knight. Pretty self-explanatory, just get stuff to grave that you need. And then for hand traps, I chose to run 3 Ghost Ogre. Now, in this current January 2021 format, Ghost Ogre's obviously not the best pick. If you are making this deck for like this specific format, I would recommend Droll and Lockbird or Skullmeister. Those are my current picks for this current format. But honestly, this is just a casual deck for me, so I just chose 3 Ghost Ogre. That's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. So since SHADDOLLs are fusion monster heavy, it's kind of their strategy, we run 3 SHADDOLL Fusion. Pretty self-explanatory. We then run 3 SHADDOLL Fusion. This is essentially just a quick play variant of SHADDOLL Fusion, so it's useful for kind of disrupting your opponent just a little bit. Then we run 3 Super Polys. So if you don't know what this does, it just essentially allows you to use your opponent's cards as polymerization material. So like, we do have a couple Super Poly targets like Mud Dragon in the extra deck, but I'll show those off later. And then we have 1 Called By. I would run 3, but you know, it's kind of limited to 1 right now. So this just kind of disrupts your opponent a little bit. And then 1 Foolish Burial. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's Foolish Burial. Any deck that kind of sends stuff to grave a lot should run this card. That's it for the spells. So it's mostly just the fusion stuff, but that's really all you need, to be honest. And then we have 5 traps total. So we have 2 SHADDOLL Incarnation. Now this is what I was referring to earlier. Let me just grab Ariel. So this card targets 1 SHADDOLL monster in your GY and special summons it in face up or face down. It's a pretty standard effect that you've seen through these spells and traps and stuff. And then, this is the better effect. You can banish this card and 1 SHADDOLL card from your GY, then activate one of these effects. You change 1 face-up monster you control to face down, or vice versa. So, obviously this is good if you want to flip down your SHADDOLLs that you already have. And I said it goes really well in conjunction with Ariel, because Ariel has the effect of bringing back banished stuff. So, and then you can also, like, their effects kind of just go hand in hand, basically. And then we also run 2 SHADDOLL Schism. Now, if you are a budget player and you really don't want to go above, like, what, $30, $40, don't run this card. It's like 10 bucks a copy or 20 bucks a copy, as far as I remember. But it is really, really useful. It essentially just serves as an extra polymerization. It's just a continuous spell, and you banish them from field or grave, but it cannot attack directly, so that's very useful. And then we run 1 SHADDOLL Core. If you kind of bricked in the beginning or you don't really have the cards that you need, this is useful, kind of just in place of any other monster. That's it for the main deck. Let's just get into the extra deck. So like I said before, Construct is kind of the ringleader of this deck. So we run 3 of her. And it has the effect of when it's special summon, you can send 1 SHADDOLL card from deck to grave. Obviously very useful. And then at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, destroy that monster. So even if it's something powerful and you kind of need to get it off the field, yeah, you'll take some damage, but it just immediately kills that monster no matter what. And then when it's sent to grave, I believe, yeah, you can target 1 SHADDOLL spell trap, add it to your hand. All of the SHADDOLL fusion monsters have that effect of when they're sent to grave, you just bring back the fusion card that you used for them, essentially. We then run 3 Winda. It requires 1 SHADDOLL and 1 Dark monster, as opposed to Construct's Light monster. This one is really good for disruptions. If you read its effect, cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. They're going to have a hard time getting this off the field. And then each player can only special summon monsters once per turn while this card is face up on the field. Now, obviously that's very good. Yeah, it detriments you, but honestly, only limiting it to 1 special summon and the fact that it can't be destroyed by card effects, it's really, really probably annoying to your opponent, because like that kind of messes up all their plays since people special summon so often nowadays. We then do 1 Shekanaga. It's just 1 earth monster. I don't see this one pop up too often, but it definitely is useful. When a special summon monster activates its effect while you have a SHADDOLL card in your hand, you can negate the activation, and if you do destroy that monster, then send 1 SHADDOLL card from hand to grave. And then it shares the same effect as all of these, where you can get 1 spell trap. So it's a little more situational, but definitely useful to run. And then these are the Super Poly targets that I was referring to earlier. We have Mud Dragon, pretty self-explanatory. And then we also have Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, another just a good Super Poly target in general. Now on to the Link monsters. We run 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Obviously this is a very good card. It shuffles something your opponent has into the deck. Like, why shouldn't you run this card? 1 SHADDOLL Construct. This is 2 flip monsters, so during your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 SHADDOLL fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. So it's kind of like SHADDOLL Schism, where it's a replacement for a polymerization if you don't have one. So very useful card to run. And then we kind of run the Boral Dragon package with 1 Boral Load and 1 Boral Sword. These 2 are pretty good just as beaters with obviously really, really good effects. And then here's Appaloosa. I run 1 of her. Now, Appaloosa isn't the best in this current format in January 2021, so you could substitute this with something else that's more relevant. I can't really think of an example off the top of my head, but again, this is casual, so it doesn't really matter that much. And, of course, Cross Sheep. So if you don't know what Cross Sheep does, it just, if a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can apply the following effects based on the card type of the monster this card points to. And then when you go to Fusion, special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your GUI. Obviously, that's very useful. So it can, like, just bring back all the cards that you used for Fusion summoning. So, very, very useful card indeed. If you were only to get 3 of the structure decks, just buy Cross Sheep and SHADDOLL Schism. All these extra ones are kind of fluff. Like, yeah, they're useful, but if you are going for what is the least amount of money I need to spend, just get 1 Cross Sheep and 2 SHADDOLL Schisms and you should be good to go. Now, that wraps up the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I really like making videos like this, so if you want to see more deck profiles in the future, I'll definitely make some more. But again, this is a really, really fun deck to play, and it's pretty cheap too, if you kind of count out SHADDOLL Schism. But again, if you are trying to get someone into the game, like they're a new player or they're a returning player, I would really recommend this deck. It's super duper easy to learn, and I've had a blast playing this. So thank you all so much for watching. A test hands video will be up soon, probably in a day or two, but I'm not really too sure yet. And I'll be showing off like the combos and stuff. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and please share and leave in the comments below, like, if you want to see another deck profile or maybe more card openings, you know, stuff like that. So, for the third time, thank you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time.